My parents are immigrants. They moved all across a war-torn China during the Sino-Japanese War and Second World War, and from Taiwan in the 50s came to the United States. They both pursued higher education here, and so I grew up in Poughkeepsie, New York, in the Hudson Valley. So it was this real American dream. It's especially heightened when you are second generation, and you really can visualize what it would have been like had you been born in the other place. Where would I be had my parents not made it to the United States? We sit here talking just a couple of weeks after the anniversary of the massacre on Tiananmen Square. I think about what it would have been like to have been a high schooler in Beijing and what choice I would have made. I had the good fortune to be born American. I can express my political opinions, and I'm not going to get just scooped up by cops in the middle of the night. And that has really fueled my sense of purpose. The entirety of my life after college has been in public work, either working in government or working to promote political engagement. I want for us as citizens to be as prepared and powerful and engaged and literate and ready to participate and contribute as we possibly can. What we're talking about here in the civic context is how we treat one another, how we live in community, how we see ourselves as woven into a fabric of relationship and obligation. And that notion is what our broken, fissured, fragmented body politic today needs deeply. Citizen University is a nonprofit that works to foster a stronger culture of citizenship in the United States. We convene leaders from the left and the right to come together and learn together and solve problems together.
We need to make sure that the people that we put in office represent us and our issues. And if they don't, how can we bring that to light?
You have people working on immigration reform who've never met people from the veterans world, who've never met people who are thinking about civic education in the classroom. And so what Citizen University does is simply to stitch this ecosystem together.
Should we just set up around here?
But there's another set of things that Citizen University does that are much more about the culture.
So it's fun. Yeah, all of us. We stand there and we do an oath together.
It's taking an oath.
Hello. How are you? I'm Eric Liu.
Because we have a great diversity in American life, you have to ask yourself, what is it that holds us together? And what holds us together is a creed. And that creed, to me, is not just a bunch of legalistic principles. That creed operates at the gut and the heart, at least as much as at the level of the head. And it is truly a civic religion. And so one of the things that I feel like it's really important for us to do as Americans is just to renew that creed through rituals, simple rituals.
So this is a process we have called Sworn Again America. And the idea is if you've ever been to a ceremony where immigrants become citizens and they got to swear an oath, we thought, well, what if we all had a chance to actually pause for a minute and just swear this oath together? And so I'm just going to ask you to raise your right hand. I pledge to be an active American.
I pledge to be an active American.
To show up for others.
To show up for others.
To govern myself.
To govern myself.
To help govern my community.
To help govern my community.
I pledge to serve and to push my country.
I pledge to serve and push my country.
When right to be kept right.
When right to be kept right.
When wrong to be set right.
When wrong to be set right.
Wherever my ancestors and I were born.
Wherever my ancestors and I were born.
I claim America.
I claim America.
Congratulations, folks. You are now sworn again.
Amen.
Thank you very much for joining us again. How'd that feel for you all to do that? Did it?
That really touched
It's not just the oath. It's more about renewing our sense that we have a civic inheritance here and a set of values that are worth nurturing. That's the spark of Americanness that I hope does not get subdued even in this age of cynicism about what's possible in politics. Because when you stop showing up, you stop participating, you cede the field to the few who would like perfectly to command the field. And they usually don't have your interests in mind.
Part of what makes the United States exciting is that it is a place in which there's always a little bit of an edge. You are going to encounter people who are unlike yourself. Ethnically, economically, politically, this extraordinary coming together of people from everywhere, from every circumstance, from every religion. What infrastructure is it that is needed to support that? What set of responsibilities and obligations support that? What relationship to what the government does and what individuals do? It's a pretty complex story. Whenever I talk to people about our common aspirational narrative as being what holds us together, they say, yeah, that's what I think too. To be American is to accept the call of aspiration. To be American is to break with the idea that you are a prisoner of your circumstances. And I think to be American is also to accept that it's not just about you. You really do need to care about the collective enterprise too.
And I think the more we lose sight of that in an era of racial and ethnic fragmentation and political polarization and income inequalities, the more things that push us away from that sense of we're all in this together, that we have a responsibility and a duty to build and sustain healthy communities, not just healthy individual lives, and the more trouble we have going forward.
I believe as a nation, we are not living up to our ideals. We need to be concerned with every kid in the nation, not just our own.
The biggest hope for our country, that we don't forget where we came from. But also at the same time, I'm looking forward to being absorbed into the new traditions or the new rituals or the new whatevers that are brought in by the different cultures.
The Marines haven't gotten anywhere doing things by themselves. And I think it would really behoove the American public to know your neighbors and to build that community.
America has nothing to hold itself together but a few ideas, a creed. Another way to put that is, all we have to hold us together is a story. And I think one thing we have learned, whether from the right or the left, is don't expect some archangel to come down and descend and give us that story.
If I could ask every person in America, I think it would be to have everyone have a conversation like this, where people genuinely put their identities and their concerns about the nation on the table. Because I don't think any other time I've felt more American. And so frustrated with what it means to be American, but also so proud.
For educator resources and more stories, visit pbs.org/American Creed.